And Kyiv says they intercepted 6 hypersonic missiles aimed at the city. Russia denied those claims and says that one of the missiles destroyed a U.S.-supplied air defense system. Ukraine has dismissed that claim. And it all comes as Russia launched major attacks on Ukraine's capital city 8 times over the last few weeks. So for more on the war, I want to bring in former U.S. National Security Advisor H.R. McMaster. He's also a CBS News foreign policy and national security contributor. Thanks for joining us again, sir. So let us talk about this Russian offensive. It's been going on for weeks now. Most of these rockets are basically shot out of the sky. So they're, using up an awful lot of ammunition, if you will, and spending a lot of money for very little gain. What do you imagine the strategy is here?
Hey, Emery, great to be with you. And I know we're both in a little bit of mourning about the Sixers collapse. But I'll tell you,
it was hard
in Game 7. Hey, I'll tell you, this is the 8th major attack this month against Kyiv with these long-range weapon systems. This was a rather large-scale attack. They used 6 MiG aircraft to launch cruise missiles. Then they fired 9 of these very long-range land-based missiles, the Iskander missile, or 9 or 10 of them. They fired 9 other long-range missiles, and then many of these drones, that they've purchased from Iran. But I think what you see is really a desperate attempt to have some news, for Russians who I think are seeing the increased losses that the Russian forces are taking around Bakhmut. And what's I think impressive about this last attack is the degree to which the air defense system for the Ukrainians operated extremely well. So I think you're seeing now the integration of a lot of these various systems, air defense systems, including the Patriot missile system, and the effect that it's having in protecting the Ukrainian people from these sorts of onslaughts.
Yeah, I wondered if maybe Russia was, trying to get in ahead of the spring offensive that we've been talking about for months. Volodymyr Zelensky said, we've got the troops, we've got the will, we do not have the military aid. He just did a tour of allies. A lot of military aid was promised, but that's probably going to take a while to sort of get there. So I wondered if maybe this was, an offense on Russia's part before Ukrainians sort of begin their offense. I wonder, because they're using up so much, is Russia going to be prepared for whatever Ukraine can finally bring when this spring offensive starts?
Yeah, I don't think so, Emery. When I look at the staggering losses that they've taken around Bakhmut, I think about the French army offensives in World War I that led to the mutiny of that army. I think the strains on the Russian army have been extensive, and you're starting to see the fighting going on between the criminal formations that Prigozhin commands in Bakhmut, that's fighting in the eastern part of the city, and the public statements that he's made criticizing the Russian command, and Shoigu, the defense minister in particular, making snide comments about him, referring to his extensive military experience, when of course he has no real combat experience. Shoigu, the minister of defense. And you see this kind of hodgepodge of units around Bakhmut. Some of the regular army forces for the Russians, but also the Donetsk People's Republic militia. And so Russia's desperate to hang on to what they have in Bakhmut and continue this kind of halting offensive in the east. It's become a real kind of point of honor for the Russian forces. But they're impaling themselves on Ukraine defenses and suffering more losses. I guess what remains to be seen, Emery, is the degree to which Ukrainians have been able to disengage enough force and build up capable, what we call combined arms forces that can employ mobile protected firepower, tanks, and protected mobility, and artillery, and air capabilities, air defense capabilities, as well as engineers. I mean, the big story about this counteroffensive is going to be the degree to which the Ukrainians can penetrate layered defenses, old World War I style defenses, and dragon's teeth and trenches and tank traps, and the degree to which the Russians will be able to man those defenses and employ reserves against where that main attack occurs. So I think what you're going to start seeing, Emery, are more strikes in depth by the Ukrainians to prepare for that offense. I think you're going to see a lot more kind of fifth column attacks deep in Russia's rear area, Crimean Peninsula, maybe even on Russian territory. One of the stories that didn't get a lot of attention is about a week ago when the Ukrainians shot down 4 Russian aircraft. 2 of those aircraft were shot down over Russian territory. So I think you're going to see the Ukrainians also try to extend this battlefield in greater depth, especially with some of the longer range systems they're integrating now, those long range cruise missiles that they obtained from the UK.
H.R. McMaster, always great to get your insight. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Emery.